Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Zipman once again, and today we're going to be doing another manga review. Today we're going to be reviewing Zipman, Volumes 1 and 2, which is the completed series. Since this does seem to have been axed while it was trying to serialize on the Shonen Jump magazine, so yeah. The author is Yusaku Shibuta, and the publisher is Viz Media, of course. And the demographic is Shonen. It was on the Shonen Jump magazine. It tried to serialize there. They just didn't manage to get past chapter 20, or well, chapter 17. And the genre is Tokusatsu. I mean, this implies sci-fi and mecha and all of this type of stuff. But, Tokusatsu is basically a Japanese hero genre. So, like the American hero genre, it basically combines everything in order to create this kind of genre all of its own. So there you go, that's Tokusatsu. Although I guess technically speaking, most Tokusatsu is mostly sci-fi, and I guess you could kind of say the same thing about superheroes, but it does still have fantasy elements there. So yeah, it does not have an adaptation, and of course the premise here is that there's these two twin boys who are Kaname and Koshiro. And these two boys have a situation that occurs to them when they're young, which is that they get saved by this little girl who also is a fan of the superheroes that they watch on television, which in this case is this guy called Jackman, who happens to be like a jackal-headed, Tokusatsu hero, which is cool, as opposed to Kamen Rider, who is a bug-faced Tokusatsu hero. And what follows after this encounter with this girl is that they want to make her smile, they want to make her happy because they look up to her and because they kind of like her, and they eventually diverge paths. Koshiro goes on to be a tech tycoon because this guy is a genius, and Kaname, being a very physically fit character, ends up trying to become the next Jackman. Like, he wants to be a martial artist / actor in order to play the part of his fairy Tokusatsu hero. And one day Koshiro has some sort of mysterious death occur to him. And what happens is that Kaname and Shina are trying to deal with it, but eventually, when Kaname and Shina are hanging out and trying to, just kind of go with the flow, this creature attacks the city, and this Tokusatsu suit shows up in front of Kaname, and he has to get in and use it to save Shina. And now they have a small superhero journey to go through for the rest of the chapters that are left in the story. And so it's not that bad, actually. It works pretty well. I didn't dislike it, but it is not something I recommend you buy. It is definitely something I recommend you read on the app exclusively, unless you really like the story and then you want to buy the digital editions of the of the volumes in order to get the author's notes and stuff like that. So yeah. The plotline here is actually not that bad. The pacing is atrocious because it was going one way and then it got axed, so it had to go a different way completely. And you can kind of notice that. I think it's chapter 7 or 8. They meet this female character called Ito Magara, and what happens is that it looks like they were setting up to go one way, but then the story got axed somewhere like around that chapter, and so the rest of the 10 chapters had to just go faster. So there is that, but overall the story is pretty good for what it is. It had promise, in my opinion. It looked like it was going to be fun, but I'm also quite a big fan of Tokusatsu, and Tokusatsu is not something that is very popular or easy to access here in the United States as opposed to Japan, so maybe that had to do with the fact that I liked it and Japanese audiences didn't, or didn't care enough about it to save it from being axed. So I don't know. It really depends. I'm not... This was 2 years ago. I think it was right before I started collecting manga, so I'm not too sure what happened there. But the story itself is actually rather simple. It's the boy gets the powers, he wants to save the world, and so he needs adversaries, and what happens is that the bad guys are basically people just like him that are also wearing suits that want to kind of get the world to change, but they're kind of misguided, and they're all being controlled by this evil corporation that Kaname has to fight. And along the way, we get to see that there's this kind of rebirth of his brother in some form, and that's pretty fun. I don't know. I thought it was enjoyable. Like, it wasn't the best thing ever, but I read it in about 2 hours. It, let me kill some time. I wouldn't say 2 hours. I think it was less than that, but like, I remember 2 hours worth of time spent on it, and that includes like thinking about the story and stuff like that. So, yeah. and sharing it with my with my roommate. But I think it's a fun little time spender. If anything, like, it's not bad. I definitely liked it enough. In terms of characters, there's basically three of them. Kaname, the good guy but scary. They call him an evil gorilla, which is funny. And Kushiro, which is the smart and cold character. And China, which is the best girl. And she's actually really cute and really well characterized for the few scenes that she does have character. But of course, this being an axed series, there really isn't much character development. There's a few other characters that show up. There's Kushiro's two lackeys. One of them was a female character who had a great design, and the other one was a guy who just had pretty normal, like, a businessman type design. And those two seemed like they were going to be part of, like, the situation, the story, but they didn't get to. Because nothing happened. But China does get to be a little superhero for the last chapter or so. And it's really cute. She has like little bunny ears. It's really adorable. I like it a lot. And, my opinion on it is that Kaname was going to be the main Tokusatsu leader character, and he was going to have a team of other characters around with him. But, that didn't get to be the case. So that's why they kind of had to do what they had to do with the story. We don't know anything about the bad guy. It was just a director or something like that. The captain, I can't remember. But he was like a bad guy in like this little bear suit. That's all there is to it. In terms of world building, there really isn't much. Other than that the technology is like far more advanced than was anticipated. And so it has abilities that, make no sense, like consciousness transfer and stuff like that. And yeah, that's all there is to that, I guess. In terms of artwork, I think it's pretty good, actually. It's very similar to My Hero Academia, but the female character actually remind me more of like stuff from Black Torch and Heart Gear, or maybe like Bleach characters, than it does My Hero Academia characters. So I actually really like that quite a lot. The art style, though, like the way things happen, the motion of things, and the scope of backgrounds and stuff, very much My Hero Academia style. But everything else is very much a Black Torch, Bleach type of style, which I like. I think it works really well, but I really wish that there was more time for the mangaka to really show off their drawing skills. In terms of fan service, there really isn't much. There's one bad female character who happens to be this like super like Amazon-esque woman character, and she basically has like a slave Leia costume. So there is fan service in that sense, but it really isn't much otherwise. And in terms of a rating, it's a 3 out of 5. It's not bad, it's not great. It's just a good way to spend 2 hours just kind of enjoying the story and talking about it and just kind of taking it easy for a bit. So I definitely recommend it if you just want to waste some time for a little bit, but I don't really recommend it if you're looking for some deep or very high-paced story, because it will deliver on the high pace, but it won't really be enough to really sink your teeth in like My Hero Academia or anything else. So if you have an hour or two and you just want to read something that is complete, I definitely recommend this in that sense. But other than that, it really isn't that enjoyable beyond that. So yeah, other than that's basically all I have to say. In terms of similar titles, I can't really think of any. All of the other Tokusatsu that I know, like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and Ultraman, all have slightly more long-form type stories, and they really don't match with the style of, or like the tone of this story, so it's not really easy to recommend those. But if you like Tokusatsu and you want to investigate more, then that would be like the 3 things to read. But yeah, this is more of a superhero story than like a Tokusatsu story, which I guess is literally the same thing, but the tone is more in line with My Hero Academia than like the Ultraman series. So yeah, that's all there is to that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought, and thank you guys very much for watching. And yeah, see you guys later.